Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, River Muncher 88. Thanks for the awesome suggestion, River. You ask, how is steel actually made? If you've ever looked at a skyscraper, a frying pan, or that suspiciously heavy gym dumbbell and wondered, wait, where does all this steel even come from? Then you're in the right place. Today, we're melting, blasting, and rolling through one of the hottest processes on Earth. Literally. So if you've ever been curious about the fiery journey from dusty rocks to super strong metal, stick around as we break down exactly how steel is made. Right here on Explaining Everything. Before we dive into molten chaos, let's get one thing straight. Steel is basically iron that got an upgrade. Iron on its own is strong, sure, but it bends, warps, and gets moody if you so much as look at it wrong. So humans discovered that if you sprinkle in just a tiny bit of carbon, like seasoning a steak, suddenly you get steel. A metal that can withstand cars, skyscrapers, and toddler tantrums. So yes, steel is basically iron, plus carbon equals glow-up. Steel starts its life as iron ore, which sounds fancy, but is essentially a big rusty rock chilling underground. Mining companies dig it up with machines so huge they make transformers look underpowered. The ore gets crushed, ground, and sorted because no one wants ugly rocks in their fancy steel. Once processed, the ore doesn't look like a rock anymore. It looks like something you'd feed a hamster. But don't! Hamsters do not like molten metal, scientifically proven. The next stop is the blast furnace, also known as the world's angriest oven. Inside this monster, temperatures soar above 2,000 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than the Philippines in April, but with fewer jeepneys. The furnace gets fed three things. Iron ore. Coke, the carbon-rich fuel, not the soda. Limestone, which acts like the janitor that cleans up the mess. Then, everything melts. It becomes a bubbling river of liquid iron, so bright it looks like someone poured the sun into a funnel. The impurities float on top as slag, which gets skimmed off like soup scum. It's basically metal cooking, just with more yelling and more danger of spontaneous death. Molten iron alone is okay, but we want steel, the Beyoncé of metals. So the iron gets moved into something called a basic oxygen furnace. This is where the magic happens. Imagine a giant metal bathtub. Now imagine someone blasting pure oxygen into it, like they're trying to dry their hair in 0.3 seconds. That oxygen burns away the extra carbon and impurities. And suddenly, boom, you've got liquid steel. Yes, the entire process of steel making is just heat rock until it melts. Blast it with air. Congratulations, you've made skyscrapers. Now that we have molten steel, it's time to make it look like something. The steel gets poured into molds or goes through continuous casting, which gently turns this liquid metal lava into slabs, billets, blooms. These sound like Pokemon evolutions, but trust me, they're just metal shapes that will eventually become cars, knives, beams, bridges, or that spoon you always lose but somehow find under the couch. The steel cools, solidifies, and starts to look more like the metal we know. except extremely hot and dangerous. So, don't touch. Once the steel is solid, it doesn't just retire and become a frying pan. Nope! It goes through rolling mills, a place where metal gets stretched, squeezed, and flattened like dough in a bakery run by bodybuilders. Hot rolling happens at crazy high temperatures. Cold rolling happens at room temperature. But don't be fooled. It still feels like the metal is being bullied by machines that clearly work out. This step gives steel the thickness, shape, and strength it needs. It's the steel equivalent of a makeover montage. If all of steel production suddenly stopped, the world would collapse faster than your New Year's resolutions. No buildings, no cars, no bridges, no kitchen utensils, no construction tools. Even your phone has steel inside. So yes, steel is basically the quiet background character holding civilization together. So the next time you see the word steel, remember, this metal didn't just appear out of nowhere. It went through fire, chaos, oxygen blasts, and machines that squish it like Play-Doh on steroids. It's the ultimate glow-up journey. From dusty underground rock to one of the strongest materials humans have ever used. Steel isn't just strong, it's committed. It really said, I will literally melt for you. And now you know why steel is everywhere. It's durable, reliable, and basically the backbone of our modern world. Every time you ride a car, enter a building, or use a tool, that steel went through a very dramatic childhood to get there. So appreciate the metal. It has been through more than all of us combined. If you enjoyed this molten metal adventure, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more brain-bending answers to everyday questions. And if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about here on Explaining Everything.